Hello and welcome back to another PodPaca update. Today we'll be talking about how someone is going into the old big Kmart location. That's right, U-Haul will be going into that location, which was the largest retail location up for sale in Waupaca. We will also be giving an update on what's happening with the legendary Tom Thumb mini golf course, and we will of course have some more shout outs this week to end our update. Hello, everyone. I'm Joe Drake, and I'm once again joined by my fellow host on PodPaca and, of course, my terrific dad, Tim Drake. How have you been doing today, Dad?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm really excited for this episode because we have a lot of great information for you about how U-Haul is moving into the old Kmart building. U-Haul is moving into that building, which is located on Fulton Street in Waupaca. That location has over 80,000 square feet of floor space that U-Haul is going to use for storage units, a retail space where the old Kmart pharmacy was, and also a loading unloading zone. Is all part of the full service U-Haul service center and storage facility that they plan on opening. The storage units will be very top of the line and they will be climate controlled. By the end of the project, there will be 800 metal storage units. The building itself will also be upgraded. This is all part of the $4 million plan that U-Haul is investing into this project. They will have things including motion sensor lighting, a new bathroom along with the already existing bathroom, a 50 to 60 camera security system, a high flow valve sprinkler system, and there will also be U-Haul trucks and trailers available to rent. And the facility will be open year round except Christmas.
One thing about what you said, though, I'm not sure the deal has been finalized yet. You said U-Haul has bought the old Kmart building, and I'm under the impression that hasn't quite happened yet. Yeah, my thought was that the sale's kind of pending, and I think all the stuff you said is what they would like to do if they indeed the deal goes through. So I'm not even sure any plans have been laid out yet for the overhaul of the U-Haul thing. Yeah, sorry, that's kind of that bad attempt at a joke, but yeah, I guess I mean, personally, I'm happy something's going in there or potentially is going in there. So do you know if they're going to do anything with have you heard anything with the outside, like the parking lot or anything? Because that's getting pretty raggedy. I would have I would think that would be something they'd want to deal with as well.
Yeah, first to your point about the sale not being finalized yet, that's a really good point. It isn't 100% official, but it's like 99% going to happen. U-Haul actually already has signs and their stuff somewhat in the building already ready to go, even though there is no building plans finalized. Things still need to all be improved and all that.
Well,
But
do we
yeah,
know? We don't really know if anything's been finalized. I mean, as far as the sale, according to the newspaper in the city, the sale hasn't been finalized quite yet. It looks like it's a good chance it'll happen, and which I'm hopeful. But they had talked about what an April 1st opening date, and I don't know, man. That seems kind of awfully progressive. I don't know if you don't even have any plans yet or not. But I mean, if maybe they do, they're just waiting for the plans to actually get finalized, like building plans, things like that. Maybe they're ready to rock. Who knows?
I do want to get to your question about if they're going to do anything to the parking lot or outside of the building at all. I don't know about the outside of the building itself, like the appearance of the building. but they are going to spruce up the parking lot since there has been a lot of wear and tear on it. I do imagine that they'll make the outside of the building a lot more appealing than it currently looks because they are putting $4 million into the project. I would think they would have that in their plans as well.
Oh, yeah.
I do want to know from you, Dad, though, when you first heard about U-Haul moving into the old Kmart and about this entire project, were you surprised at all about this news?
In a way, I was surprised that anything was moving in there at all. I was afraid Kmart would just sit there and be vacant forever until it collapsed on itself or something. But so I was really happy to hear somebody was moving in. And I've been racking my brain as to what could work in there. And some ideas that were floating around were, like boat sales, something like that. So to hear U-Hauls going in there and putting storage units in my mind, I think that's a perfect use of it. It certainly is better than just sitting there being empty. So,
Yeah, and there are very few places that could go into that building because I know people have been talking, oh, we want a department store. Well, there's only a couple department stores that could manage that entire space because of like a TJ Maxx size store, Home Goods, Staples, those kind of stores. I think you could fit two or three of those stores in that giant Kmart space. That place is a massive area.
it's huge.
All related to this though, we do have more information. I know we have a lot already, but we have more. So I talked with Waupaca City Administrator Aaron Jenson about the U-Haul project and about future commercial development. And I wanted to share what he had to say with everybody. So it's important to know with the U-Haul project that the start date has not yet been determined, even though because of all the finalizing and approving, they don't have an estimated start date yet, according to, and this is all info according to the city administrator, Aaron Jensen. U-Haul is also the only conversation, the only serious conversation that was had with the city of Waupaca regarding the old Kmart location. So it did not beat anyone else out or anything like that. This was the only company that had any serious conversation with the city. I asked Aaron Jensen if he was happy that the U-Haul was moving into the old Kmart, and he said that he was happy that the location is not vacant anymore and is no longer empty. I did also ask him about if the city owned or had any say as far as to what went into the Kmart building and if they owned any part of the Kmart building. The city does not own any part of Kmart building, and the impact the city has on the sale of the Kmart building is not all 100% under their control. A lot of it is up to the owners of the building, so this is not, all up to the city. I did ask Aaron about uh, future commercial development as far as department stores because I know a lot of people have been asking with U-Haul going into an old retail department store if a department store would take its place. And he really emphasized that you can get a lot of stuff local, like how we mentioned Waupaca hometown, and they are currently going through their economic development strategy, and that includes housing. Housing is a huge part of future commercial development. He did emphasize that the whole point of them doing housing is not because of future development, it is because more people need places to live in Waupaca, closer to downtown, and just in the city of Waupaca limits. And then also when it comes to getting a department store to come to Waupaca, The city of Waupaca doesn't have a whole lot of say. It's not like they can call them up and convince them, hey, come to Waupaca. It's awesome. The stores already have a ton of data on Waupaca, and that will have more of an impact to their decision of whether they should or should not come to Waupaca. I also asked about Kmart and Shopko's closings in the last 5-6 years. He said a huge factor that was online shopping, and
Well,
also with the housing, I did ask, is it only on the east side of the city by the business district by Fox Brothers and Foundry Plant 2-3? Is that the only places you're emphasizing more housing and more development? And he said that the east side is what the city has more land and to do more development, but they're focused on helping housing everywhere, not just in the east side of Waupaca. And everything is still early in the process. And he said there are no building plans yet that have been submitted to the city from U-Haul for the old Kmart building.
you can't blame, I don't, for Kmart and Shopko leaving, uh, they were dying. Kmart was dying on a major national scale, and Sears had been forever too. And then those two merged at one point. So you had two big messes instead of one, or you had one big mess created by two little messes, I guess. So that had nothing to do with Waupaca or anything. And Shopko was, you know, they were on their way out as well. They just, both of those facilities just happened to be here.
Here at PodPaca, though, I know you have gotten our perspectives on this issue, and then also Aaron Jenson and his statements and viewpoints on this as well, and then what U-Haul shared. But we didn't forget about you, our audience. We have actually done an anonymous poll to see what people thought of the new project happening in Waupaca. All of the people polled are citizens who live in the city of Waupaca or live in surrounding townships like Rural or Farmington. So the first question we asked was, do you like that U-Haul is going into the old Kmart? 59% of people said yes, 18% of people said no, and 23% said they were not sure.
We also asked, do you think Waupaca needs another department store? 71% said yes, 18% said no, and 11% were not sure.
We also wanted to know the public's opinion on pharmacies, since large retailers like Kmart and Shopko had pharmacies in their stores. 41% of people said they think Waupaca needs another pharmacy, while 59% of people didn't think we needed another pharmacy in Waupaca, and 0% were not sure.
Our last question we ask in the poll is, do you think more big box businesses in Waupaca would hurt the local businesses in Waupaca? 42% of people said yes, 34 said no, and 24% of people didn't know.
Make sure, everyone, if you want us to do more polls like this, make sure to let us know. Maybe comment on a Facebook post or on YouTube that you like the poll and want to see more. We love hearing from our audience in the Waupaca community, and we would like to do more. Next up is another story involving a business in Waupaca. The long-lasting mini golf course Tom Thumb is up for sale. Tom Thumb Mini Golf Course is located on Whispering Pines Road and is the only mini golf course that is on the chain of lakes. It is one of two mini golf courses in Waupaca. It is also the only mini golf course with boat parking. It's up for sale, and it also comes with an Airbnb and boat rental.
No, Tom Thumb, been that's been there for quite some time, since the late 50s, 1959, you said?
Yeah, 1959. It's been there since.
Yeah. No, I imagine they're just, like any other business, after a while, you know, decide whether you want to keep it or not. So you just sell it.
Oh yeah, and I really hope that whoever does take over the mini golf course will keep it in good shape, keep that same classic charm that it has. I think it could really use a little more love too. There are some holes that do need a little bit of fixing and repairing, and I feel like a new owner would do a good job of keeping up with everything.
Well, the air, what the price they have on it's up there. But I mean, that house, the Airbnb, the house they rent that's a pretty nice looking house. I've never been inside it personally, but it seems popular. I see it every time especially in the summers, it seems like it's pretty much full all the time. So uh,
Oh yeah, and also the lakefront property is a lot of lakefront property compared to others that have been up for sale in the past.
and during the summer, I mean, it seems like it's always pretty busy there. So, and it
Yeah.
is quite the iconic uh, play. I mean, it's a destination when people come here. It seems like Tom Thumb that's something they need to go do as part of the whole experience of Waupaca. So,
This episode is presented by Northern Kitchen. Northern Kitchen is a brand new store that is in Lucky Tree's family of stores on Main Street in downtown Waupaca. This new kitchen store is on the corner in the last block on North Main Street. It looks fantastic in there. You have to see it to believe it. My mom, Michelle Drake, has been working really hard on this store. It looks great in there. There are lots of great kitchen gadgets that you cannot find anywhere else in the area. Make sure to shop at Northern Kitchen on Main Street in Waupaca. Now let's get into the shout outs for this episode. My shout out this week is to all the people that made homecoming week possible in Waupaca. I know that homecoming, you think first of the football game, but there are a lot of volunteers, parents, teachers, and students that are outside of the football team that help make homecoming week fun for not only the schools but for the whole community. So if you know anyone that volunteered or helped, whether as a parent or teacher, make sure to tell them thank you. And also anyone that helped with planning the parade, and also tell the bands thank you. I know from being in high school band that that is a long day. You do the parade, you do the pep rally, and you are at the football game, and you are playing a lot of music that day. And that is a lot of work that they do. So shout out to the high school band for making homecoming better for the community.
yeah, my shout out this week goes to my nephew Aiden. He got engaged to his girlfriend Molly. And I want to give a special shout out to her as well because she competed in her first marathon in Chicago and achieved her goal, I do believe, of 3.5 hours. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I want to congratulate them both, not only on getting engaged, but to you, Molly, for, you know, I can't imagine what it took, what discipline it took to do that. It's something I could never, I couldn't do, especially now that I'm in my late 50s and I'm fat. But um, anyway, just a shout out to both of you. Congratulations.
Yeah, and with that time, she is able to, she qualified for the Boston Marathon.
That's right. Very cool. Very cool.
And what a weekend for her, huh? And
Oh,
for
yeah.
Aiden both. Thank you, everyone, for listening to this PodPaca update. We will have a new episode this Tuesday night with Bill Zimmerman, who owns Office Outfitters. That is an episode you will not want to miss. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. It is free, and everyone's subscription helps PodPaca keep getting better. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. So make sure to do that. And have a great week, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, everybody have a good time. And who's Bill Zimmerman? Is he that creepy guy? Sorry, Bill. Have a good weekend, everybody.